Hi everybody, welcome to my video that I'm going to share with you guys today. You are probably watching this because you landed on my blog for our Patriotic blog hop, Team Stampin's Patriotic blog hop, and this is the card that I made, and I'm going to show you how I made that really quick. I was kind of thumbing through the catalog and was trying to come up with an idea. And as soon as I seen the stamp set that I used to create the flag, I knew exactly. I had it already designed in my mind before I even entered my craft room. So this is a super cute, fun card, and if you guys can see right there, I kind of just popped that up just a little bit. I wanted to give it to like the wave, like, you know, when a flag is waving in the wind was the look I was going for. Super cute, super easy. I used a lot of new items from the new catalog, so I'll tell you really quick what we're going to use. So I used the Subtle Dynamic Impressions folder. This is new in the catalog, and I don't know if you guys can see. I'm going to try to hold that up there super close. I used it on our piece of Whisper White and also on the Thank You, and it really, I hope you guys can see that, it really gives it a nice texture, and I tried to take a really good picture of that too, so I could share that with you guys. So I used a big thank you, and this is the stamp that I used to create my flag, and then it is bundled in the new catalog, so you can get the thank you thinlet, and that is that. So we'll pop that out on a piece of crumb cake in a few minutes. And then the pick a pennant, I used the star in the pick a pennant. I actually think I used the one that is the solid image instead of the cutout on the center. I also used my layering square framelets. I used that to create my little corner up here for the flag. And then I'm going to use the 2018-2020 DSP. This is 6x6 DSP paper, and that's these two papers right here. And then I'm going to use the lovely lipstick gross green ribbon, and then we are going to use, I'm going to get that hair off there really quick, the basic rhinestones. And you're going to need a sponge. You don't have to have the sponge, but I sponged around the corner of my flag, the thank you, the DSP. I like that look, and with the background being crumb cake, I decided I was just going to do that. So I'm going to use the lovely lipstick ink pad, my Whisper White Craft, and I'm also going to use crumb cake ink. And that's just the basically for sponging around the edges of the paper is what we're going to do. So let me just kind of pull everything in, and like I just told you, the card base is crumb cake. I'm just trying to find my bone folder as I talk. So that is cut at 5.5 by 8.5, and it's scored at 4 1/4, and I just folded that in two. And then like I just said, I have two pieces of DSP strips, and those are 2 by 5 1/4. And then you're going to need just a scrap piece of the blueberry bushel, and that's what we're going to use to get our square for our flag. Our flag is a piece of Whisper White, and this piece is cut at 3 by 4. And then you're just going to need a scrap piece of crumb cake to get your thank you popped out. I'm just going to move those out of my way really quick. And then I also used the foam adhesive strips to pop up the thank you. You can just run that through using the adhesive if you want. The Sizzix, I can't remember the exact name, this that we sell in the catalog. I think it's still available. Multi-purpose adhesive sheets. You could use that if you wanted to just layer that on the front of your card, but I wanted the dimension, I wanted it to be raised up, and you can see if you tilt it sideways, you can see those foam strips, but it blends in so nicely with that piece of Whisper White that it's not really that noticeable, so it doesn't really bother me. And then I'm going to use my mat just because I'm using the photopolymer and I want to get a good stamped image. I'm going to use the Big Shot. You're going to need your magnetic plate and then just your basic plate to use the embossing folder. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to grab a paper towel. I always forget something, so I'm going to grab a paper towel, and I'm just going to put my this is going to be my flag. And what I did with my original card, I'll just see if I can bring that in and you guys can still see it and leave me room to work. I might have to move it out of the way. But what I did not like make my square. I just stamped and then just put my little square over it. That's fine to do. So I just inked up that little image and then I just stamped. And you could use your Stamparatus for this. This would probably be a very good card to use that. I chose not to. I just eyeballed it. It didn't have to be perfect in my eyes. If you get one, like I just kind of got that one just a little bit closer, no biggie. And then I'm just going to do one right there. And then just kind of one where it's maybe like off. Now I'm going to go back over, and this is exactly how I did it when I made my card. I just kind of, photopolymer, it's just so easy to line those right up where you want them. So, and if you get off a little bit, it's not the end of the world. I'm trying to hurry so the video's not forever long. And I'm just going to leave that there because our flag will probably cover up that anyway. So we can just move our lovely lipstick out of the way now. And I think the next thing I'm going to do is why I have this here. Well, I'm going to wait to do that. I was going to ink around the edges, but I think we'll run this through the Big Shot first before we do that. So let me just kind of scooch that over. And we'll just go ahead and bring the Big Shot in and start doing our Big Shot work. So I'm going to take my blueberry bushel piece and just line up that square and just run. And you can use whatever size square you want to make your little... Okay, I'll move that there. And I'm going to move that over there, get rid of my scrap, put my layering square away so I don't lose it. So while I have the Big Shot out, I'll just get my regular, just your Big Shot platform plate. And then I'm going to get the subtle impressions folder. And I don't know how I almost missed this in my, I did actually miss it in my first order. I did not see it, and then I seen somebody else do a demonstration with it and say something about it, and it made me run back and grab it because I loved it. But before I do that, actually, I'm going to go ahead and stamp, because what I did when I made the original, I'm going to run this whole piece, and so I want to get this attached on my card, so I want to get those, that star on there. So I'm just going to do those really quick. And we're just going to ink that up in the craft and just randomly place stars throughout. And make sure that you kind of go off the side a little bit just so it doesn't look like it's on purpose. You know, we want it to look like it's a regular flag. Whoops, that one kind of stuck. That's good. I'm not going to do any more than that. I'm happy with those. Let's close that up, and this is going to take just a second to dry, so I'm just gonna, I don't want to run it through there, put it on my card and everything until I know that it's dry. But what we can do while we're waiting is we can go ahead and just get these layered on there really quick. And what I did was I just kind of eyeballed it like that to try to get it evenly positioned. And I used Tombow because multi-purpose glue because I wanted to make sure that I had those few seconds. And it doesn't matter if you do the red or the blue on top or bottom. I think I wanted the blue, this, to be more on the red, so that's why I chose to put my red at the top. But I would suggest that you kind of do like I did, just to eyeball it where you kind of think you want it. And I put my glue on both my pieces at the same time. I didn't put, you know, because I wanted to make sure I was going to have enough leeway to move anything that needed to be moved before that glue took hold. So I'm just going to move those out of the way. And I'm just going to put my red one, and I didn't really push down and do a lot of fuss with it until I got my blue piece on there. And then that's when I kind of started, okay, this is where I want them to be, and to line them up and to try to get them as perfectly squared as possible. And I'm going to be quite honest with you, I cannot believe that both times it was super easy to get those lined up and pretty much dead on. When I did this card, it went together perfect like that the first time, so that's always good. Okay, so let's scoot that out of the way, and now I think we can bring, well, I need to put the, need to get that adhesive on the back of there is the word I'm looking for. I'm going to be honest and tell you guys I feel a little bit flustered. This is the first video that I've made since my father passed away. I have been kind of MIA, and so it is, you know, I'm kind of trying to get back into the swing of things, and I'll just take this opportunity right now to tell you guys thank you so much for your concern and your thoughts and your prayers, your emails, your cards, your comments. It was very, very much appreciated. So since this is the thicker folder, we do not have to use both of our plates. We only need one. So I just put that on there like so and closed it up. And I choose to, the Stampin' Up! Logo, I put that down on the platform. And I keep turning it. So I just try to usually get mine right in the center. Lay that down. Put your plate on top. And just run it through. And I'm lazy, so I run it back to me. I know I have it sideways, but whatever. And I hope you guys can see better on this, the texture. You might have a harder time on the white, but I really hope that you guys can see that. Now I'm going to leave this out. I'm just going to kind of scoot everything over just for a minute, because we're going to run our thank you through on our piece of crumb cake. And like I said, you just need a scrap piece of paper. And then we'll just run that through. We'll just change our plate. And when we change our plate, we'll just run this through with that same impressions folder. So let's just pop this all out. Move that out of our way. And then I'm going to grab my piercing tool. Just start popping these little pieces out. And hopefully they just all pop right out like they did. Missed one. And then we'll just go back through there. And in a few of the little holes there, we'll just pop that right out. This is such a pretty font. I really, really like that font. Okay. Then we're gonna do the same thing. Put that platform back on there. Grab our thank you and just lay it right there on our impressions folder. And make sure we have that centered up and run it through. And you don't have to run it through twice. That's just, I guess, my little sequence of the way that I like to do it. Once is fine. I think you're gonna tell a lot better on this, the texture that you get. I just love it. I'm gonna use that folder a lot. Okay, so now we can open up our crumb cake. And I did ink around the edges of my DSP, but since I already put it on, I'm not going to be able to. But if you wanted to do that before you glue it down, I was just trying to wait for the video. Sake of the time of the video, I was just trying to find something I could do while that craft ink was drying. And I wasn't thinking that I needed to do that. Kind of forgot about it. Okay, so we'll just ink around that, and that just kind of helps soften that a little bit. Now for the thank you, I'm going to bring in, this is very delicate. I mean, you can see that, it's very delicate. I don't want to rip it, but I did kind of hold it and just lightly brush around the edges of this. And I was very, very careful when doing this. And then I just kept going all the way around the best I could. And then I actually just laid it down just like I just did. And then I just kind of took my sponge and just went over the top of it. Just be careful that you don't rip it. And I'm good with that color. So I'm going to be done with that. Let me just put my sponge out of the way. So then what you can do is take your bone folder, and we're just going to try to like break down a little bit of the fibers in the cardstock, and that's just going to help us when we do go to lay that on our card. It's just going to help it lay the way that we want it to lay. And I actually used dimensionals to kind of get that to lay the way I wanted to. So I'm just going to bring this piece in, and what I'm going to do is I put one dimensional in this corner here, so it's this one right here, and then one down here, right here in the back. So they're just opposite of each other. And then just peel that off. And then I just made sure that it was going to fit, and then put that piece down, and then just slightly push on it. That's all you have to do, just slightly push on it. And then it gives you that raised look right there, okay? Now I'm going to take the foam strips. Now these are cut down just a little bit because I cut them down even smaller. Normally what I do is what I'm getting ready to do right now. When I need small strips, I just cut all the way across. And then you can just peel them off like that. And then if you have a bigger piece like this right here, you can make that fit. Just you might want to make sure that you're not going to have any exposed like that one is. So I'm just going to trim that down just a bit. Now I'm going to pause the video here so I can do all this, because it is going to take me quite a bit, and then I won't put it on till I come back. Okay guys, I have all of the adhesive on the back, and I'm just going to peel off the strips on the back so the adhesive will be there, and we can put it on the card. And I'll show you here in just a second once I get all these off, but I want to show you my little trick if a piece was too thick and I needed to trim it down, what I did. Okay, and I just put these adhesive strips along the longer pieces where they would fit. As you can see, like right through in here, I didn't want them to show through, so I didn't put them on there. So I'll just get those all out of the way. So I don't know if you guys can see that, but I just took my scissors, it was actually this way, and I just, kind of angled them and trimmed that down just a little bit. And then so I just took my card and laid it like that, and then you just simply lay the thank you right on there, just wherever you want it to be. And I wanted that little bit of pop on there because the flag, the way that I have it waving and everything, I wanted that. So let's grab some of the rhinestones, and I put two of the larger ones right down here in this corner, and then I took and put two right opposite of that in this corner. And then I took smaller ones. I just randomly picked smaller ones, if I can get that one to get off of the paper there. Oops, now it's stuck. There we go. So I just took and randomly placed these, my goodness, on the piece of blue. And you don't have to be, you can just put them wherever. I just wanted like a little bit of sparkle. It's 4th of July. Then you can take the larger ones, since I don't have any more of the larger ones and I don't want to have to pause the video to go get more. These I would say are basically the medium size when you get them. I just kind of placed them wherever I wanted to on the Whisper White, and you can do more if you want them to pop out. And then I did end up putting one right here, and you could use a smaller one, but I did use this size on this. And then I put another one right there on my U. Just push those down to make sure that they're going to stick. Then I just took my ribbon and made a cute little bow. And you can use this on either side. You could put this on either side of that flag that we made. I just chose to put mine on the left. We'll see. Maybe I'll like it better on the right on this one. Let's just see. I'm going to make that just a little bit smaller, like that. And trim off the tails. Just a little bit. And I'm going to make that a little bit smaller. A little bit too big for our little area. Trim it up again. And just trim those tails off again. Let's see. So we can put it there. We can put it here like we did on the first one. You could even just drop it down here and put it there on the card if you wanted to. And how I put it down was I just used a mini glue dot. So let's see. I don't know, I still kind of like it better, I think. I do, I like it better right there. So I'm just going to grab a mini glue dot and I'm just going to stick it right there. You can put it on the back of the ribbon, you can put it on your card, but I'm just going to stick that right there like that. There you guys go. That is my Patriotic card for Team Stampin' Blog Hop. I hope that you guys enjoyed this card, and you can purchase everything on my online store. I have a supply list there, and underneath the supply list you can click and you can download the PDF. Thanks guys.